Hey guys, first regardsman here, and today I'll be talking about a heavy plasma incinerator build for the Hey guys, first regardsman here, and today I'll be talking about a heavy plasma incinerator build for the heavy class in patch 11.0 Space Marine 2. Now, the heavy plasma is one of the best guns in this game, and it really has been since the game came out pretty much. There was a very early buff to this weapon that made it significantly more powerful, and since then, it's really only gotten better. Now, the variant I've chosen today is the rate of fire version, because the rate of fire got buffed up in like patch 9.0 to charge significantly faster, and now has the fastest charge rate by a significant margin over all the other options. I will say though, the major downside of this version is that you will run out of ammo significantly faster than even the magazine capacity and the venting speed version here, but it's still the best option for DPS overall besides the heroic heavy plasma, and it is just a ton of fun to use and plop out a bunch of one-shotting orbs. Now, the first perk I take here is Common Cooling. Common shots generate 10% less heat. Now, common shots on the heavy plasma are super underrated. These things will basically one-shot any Minoris in the game. They give you back a significant amount of CHP, which is very powerful, and you're unaware of what the CHP even means. That's contested health, and getting back contested health in a single shot from a heavy plasma common shot is really useful, so definitely a useful perk here. Next perk here is Rapid Cooling. After killing 7 enemies in rapid succession, this weapon does not heat for 10 seconds. Cooldown is 15 seconds. This one actually triggers more than you'd expect. It's actually pretty easy to pull this off versus a Minoris Swarm and just get like a bunch of charge shots off very quickly, especially with the rate of fire version here. So a pretty decent perk. Moving here into the perk Heavy Velocity. While in heavy stance, shots charge 15% faster. This is really nice to have. I mean, the charge rate on this thing is already pretty damn good, but this perk on top of that, it makes it even faster. And then we move down here into like the most important perks, with Plasma Collection, increasing your reserves by 20%, and the perk over here, Efficient Charge. Charge shots from this plasma weapon use 2 less energy. Without these two perks, you will run out of ammo on this weapon in like 2 seconds. I think these are like the two most mandatory options, especially this one, especially if you're using the rate of fire version, because it is just a horribly ammo inefficient weapon. It is a horrific amount of ammo usage in this game. Probably like the most ammo hungry gun in the entirety of Space Marine 2 besides the plasma pistol as your secondary, but you know, that is the trade-off for this gun overall. Next perk here is Adamant Restoration. When your health drops below 30%, your ammo reserve is restored by 25% of the maximum capacity. You can exceed maximum ammo capacity. Cooldown is 30 seconds. Now, this perk has amazing synergy with our build, because first of all, we have the perk here, Fortitude. Health increases by 30%. This makes you tanky in base, almost baseline as tanky as a Bulwark is, because he has a starting HP increase of 30% just like you. But if we stack on the perk Conviction for a 20% health damage reduction when our armor breaks on the heavy class down here in our prestige perk tree, you are now baseline as tanky as a Bulwark with one of his core perks, which is pretty insane. And you know what that means for a perk like Adamant Restoration? That means that being below 30% HP or around 30% HP in Space Marine 2, as your health gets lower, you get increasing amounts of damage resist in like 4 increments, and that on top of things like Fortitude and Conviction makes your effective HP insane. So Adamant Restoration, really easy to trigger over and over off the 30-second cooldown. This is like one of the main ways you can actually keep your ammo up on this build. Next perk here is Heavy Fire, moving up here into the perk Supercharged Shot for 10% more damage on our charge shots. Then I grab the perk here, Heavy Immunity. While in heavy stance, you don't lose control from heavy hits. This perk is also pretty much mandatory. Without this perk, you will get knocked around where you would otherwise not be. This is like one of the most important perks on pretty much any heavy weapon in the game. You can find it over here as well with the heavy immunity in the multi-melta, heavy immunity on the heavy bolter. It's top tier on all of them. I pretty much always grab this, and the only reason I would not take this perk is if I'm taking the strategic stand perk for no knockback here, because it has the same effect. So just keep that in mind. Now, the final perks I grab here are Retaliation for 25% more damage after a perfect time dodge, and then we take the perk here, Charge Cooling. Charge shots generate 10% less heat, and that's pretty much everything there is to the heavy plasma setup here. Now, for my secondary here, I do take the heroic heavy bolt pistol. This thing is super underrated. A lot of people do not like this weapon right now. They hate the low magazine capacity, they hate the ammo reserves. Now, this weapon is better than most people think, because the heroic perk effect here is called No Help is Coming. Shooting an enemy with the Elite Scream status effect stops it from calling for reinforcements, and headshots will kill in one shot. Now, I've seen some people actually misread this and think that headshotting any enemy in the game will just one-shot them with this heroic perk effect, and they don't realize it's only the reinforcement calling ones. That is basically how it works, but The big benefit of this perk is that being able to instantly kill a reinforcement calling enemy means that you will be avoiding not only a potential enraged enemy, because on absolute difficulty, if you interrupt a reinforcement calling enemy, they'll pretty much always go enraged in this game. On top of that, you'll be killing the potential for a horde, which all saves you a ton of ammo, because one-shotting a guy that would otherwise go enraged, that saves you some ammo, and then one-shotting the guy that'd be calling a horde on top of that also saves you the ammo. So that's why the ammo reserves on this are so low. I do think it's like a little excessive to have it be this low, like the ammo reserves would be up by like 20 or 30 in my opinion. Like just bring it up to 80 or so. I think that would be fine, because like this thing is pretty inaccurate as far as like bloom goes anyways. But as far as other options go for the heroic perk effect, this one's really not that bad. And the firepower of this does have the highest gun strike damage in the entire game too, and it also hits like a truck just as a gun, so I do like this thing quite a bit. I think it's my preferred secondary at the moment, besides things like the rate of fire plasma pistol. If you want to take this one, you can obviously take the plasma pistol rate of fire and just build it this way, or even like the new bolt pistol. But as far as this setup goes, I do go down the bottom row for things like Death Strike, which is after killing a majority level or higher enemy in melee combat, you do 25% more damage for 10 seconds. This will trigger off a finisher and not just a melee kill. And then we move down here into the perk Able Damage. After using a class ability, damage increases by 20% for 10 seconds. This perk is incredible to give you a tremendous damage boost. So 20% for 10 seconds is very nice, and classes like Heavy, classes like Assault, and Vanguard, they will be using their Iron Halos, they'll be using their grapnels, they'll be using their jump packs all the time, but triggering this perk is very easy for us. And the final perks I grab here are all the way up into Tactical Precision and perks like Home Precision. That's pretty much all there is to it, because headshot damage is really all that matters on a weapon like this. So pretty good option, pretty fun to use, and honestly, one-shotting a reinforcement calling enemy in this game is hilariously satisfying on Tyranids, because you just watch all like the little guys just plop around, and Chaos Spawn are also very obnoxious to stop reinforcement calls in general. That's pretty much all there is for the weapons here. Now, as far as the perk tree is concerned, we do take Restoration first. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores an armor segment. Cooldown is 15 seconds. Armor Restore is amazing in Space Marine 2. Any amount of armor restoration in this game, or armor remaining, will let you survive any melee hit entirely. You will take 0 damage from a Hellbrute Hammer or a Carnifex attack, even if you have like a sliver of armor left. So really good perk effect here. 15-second cooldown for a drip feed of this is very nice. Also cycles back into your perk over here of Conviction very easily for that damage reduction. So this one is by far the best in the row. And also you should take this because multi-kill does fucking nothing for you in this build, and auxiliary ammunition is god awful. So definitely pick this one up. Next perk here is Fortitude for the reasons I previously mentioned. And moving here into the perk Overwhelming Power. When Iron Halo is active, all of your squad members within 10 meters deal 10% more range damage. This perk is really nice to have. A 10% range damage buff for something you do all the time is very nice. And dealing 10% more range damage for your entire team is a nice like little team bonus. I do hope that they add more squad effects like this in the game eventually, because having things that benefit your entire team, they feel pretty good in games like this. And so far, these perk effects are pretty rare outside of cases like this and cases like Glory's Shield on Bulwark or like a Variant Icon, but hopefully they do that more in the future. Next perk here is the team perk Additional Supplies. The ammo capacity for all of your squad members' primary weapons increases by 25%. I do think they should buff this perk up to affect not only the primary but also your secondary weapon, because if we look at perks like Skilled Supplier on the Tactical, this is a base ammo reserve increase of 15%. This affects both the primary and secondary, so not having this on a team perk is kind of crazy to me when you look at how powerful other team perks are. And obviously encompassing Aegis for a 25% damage reduction on range attacks for your entire team is better, but not running out of ammo is pretty nice. So I would put this one up today, but hopefully they do buff this one day, and Bonds of Brotherhood is just not very good at all. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores quick charge by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. This perk will give you a 90-second Melt-A-Bomb, 90-second Shock Grenade, Frag Grenade, Crack Grenade, whatever you want. The thing about equipment in Space Marine 2 is that equipment literally saves your game. Being able to instantaneously remove an extremis enemy is godlike in this game. Having the ability to just blow up a Zoanthrope in the sky over and over with crack grenades is just super useful, or sorcerers, or a Chaos Spawn army. Either way, Consecutive Execution, top tier on every single class it is on, and this one is no different. Next perk here is Power Regulator for Iron Halo, losing energy 20% more slowly. I believe that this one comes out to giving you as much benefit or recharge rate on your field, on your Iron Halo, I should say, as Field Adjustment does, without the durability loss, because of the way the slow cooling does, or excuse me, the slow energy loss goes. It does make it come back about like an equivalent speed, I believe. I haven't tested that personally, but that's what I've been told. Next perk here is Brute Force. When Iron Halo is in cooldown, range damage increases by 15%. I mean, just take this perk because Saving Grace is Donkey Kong Bongo Cheeks, and this perk here, Wrath of the Imperium, could be really good. It just requires you to expend all of your energy on your Iron Halo, and that sucks. And a 15% range buff for doing literally nothing but just playing your class, basically, is just way better than these two, plain and simple. Final perk here is Offensive Capability. When active, Iron Halo deals damage over time to all enemies within 5 meters. This one will pick you up. So many free executes will wipe out Spore Mines, Cultists in front of you, and Bramble. Really nice to have, and honestly a very underrated perk. This thing tends to overperform. And Coolant Reserve needs like an entire rework, and like the only place that this actually functions with the new Friendly Fire modifier, where you can shoot your teammates in the face and then just like trigger this perk on purpose, basically. Or you can play with bots and just kill the bots, but just don't pick this up, basically. And the final perk here you can take instead is Conversion Field. When Iron Halo is active, all of your squad members within 20 meters regenerate ability charge by 50% faster. This one is nice. You really notice this on classes like Tactical or Bulwark that have very long recharge rates on their weapons here, or not weapons, class abilities. But on a class like this, like on by yourself, it doesn't matter that much. So I would pick up this one instead. Now, for the Prestige perk list, I do take Auxiliary Reload to maintain our ammo economy, Conviction for that damage reduction, Indomitable Spear for no knockback on gun strikes, because getting no knockback on gun strikes in Space Marine 2, especially on a heavy class that has no knockback pretty much outside of heavy immunity, is godly. This will save your life. There are times as a heavy where you are, fighting triple lictors or something like that, and you simply have to parry an enemy that will otherwise fuck you in the face. Yes, that's my official statement for that. These lictors, well, the triple lictor will fuck you in the face without this perk, and taking this perk will save your life. You'll be shooting back at them, you will get all of your CHP back, and it's simply a godly perk for this class because no knockback effects in Space Marine 2, they really are just that good. Final perk here is Duelist, Exponential Force, or Reverberating Impact. I think all of these kind of give you equivalent value depending on like how you're playing, but these three I think are by far the best. I would pretty much take these on any build, and Home Precision, this one just sucks, so just don't pick this one up. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. It does kind of suck the heavy. His perk tree selection really doesn't have a ton of incredible options. Like, there are very obviously best ones, like Encompassing Aegis is godly, Fortitude is amazing, Strategic Stand even is quite good. Overheat or Thermal Boost here is not super bad. It's just not as good as these other options, which is why 90% of heavy builds wind up looking the same, but maybe they'll rework it at some point, but for now it's just the way it is. And hopefully this build guide helped. The Heavy Plasma, it's a godly gun. It's super fun to use. You will one-shot Majoris, stuff like that, this weapon. You will blow apart entire Chaos Spawn hordes, and that is pretty damn fun for a lot of people, including me. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Tyranid will withdraw from your locus, allowing you time to extract.
This is ill-advised, Talassa. If you do not break the reactor to detonate, the cyclonic warheads will be wasted. Combat Squad Octavio will redouble our efforts to draw the Tyranids away from your position instead.
Iron Halo online. High priority Tyranid delivered. Engaging elite countermeasures.
I imagine a multi also there. Where's the boss spawn gonna be? That's my question. Right here. Triple prizes.
Xenos countermeasures successful.
Triple prizes. Look at that. That's value. I'd like to see a heroic plasma do that.
Enhanced tactic ready. Conversion field. Kill confirmed. Tyranid script.
Ding, 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 dude. Rip my bots.
Neurothroat sighted. Engage mental precautions. Specialized bioform neutralized. Reloading ammunition. Crack grenade in play. Tyranid psychobiomass inside.
There we go. Plasma overperforming as always.
Successful. Iron Halo ready. Engaging elite or Tyranid combatants. Eliminated.
Goddamn, people say Bulwark is the best, but Heavy can still be better with Heavy Plasma. I mean, Bulwark would also body that boss, to be fair, and with no ammo issues at all.
Enhanced tactic ready.
Bulwark just punched him out of the sky.
Deploying crack grenade. Takes a time Tyranid.
Bonk.
Specialized bioform neutralized. Rounds expended. Bioform life
I'm like 100% out of ammo now. That's okay, we'll have a big ammo crate down. Oh, there's an ammo thing right here. There'll be an ammo crate before the door.
ammunition restocked.
Talasa, we have lost contact with Heraton leader.
Yeah, Bulwark's tankier and doesn't like an equivalent amount of damage. In fact, in that one wave 40 run we did, on like patch 9, Block Fist outdamaged Heavy Plasma.
Readying to overload plasma core.
And Multi-Melta was better, but like they nerfed the Multi-Melta double shot. That shit was broken, so. That was a heroic consider best in slot bolt carbine, still reforming it? Yes, it is. Still the best in slot bolt carbine. There is something else I want to test after this, though. I want to see if brute force simultaneously rushes overwhelming power. I guess I'll take a shock nade.
Attention. Authorized personnel only beyond this point. molecular scan authorization in order to proceed.
Honestly, I feel like the heroic Inseater is on par with the Bull Carvine. I think it is.
Principal servitors have entry authorization.
I think
Scan
it
the
is.
eyes of servitor casualties.
Oh wait, what the fuck am I doing? I need to go and actually look for this guy.
Execute Iron Halo tactics. Kill confirmed. Major Tyranid threat. Scan the servitors for sufficient ocular credentials.
How tiny these little dudes are. I mean, they are servitors, but
Eliminate target before it summons reinforcement. Checking remains. High priority Tyranid eliminated. Tyranid side. Search and care. Double back if need be. Iron table ready. Intercepting projectiles. Soldier removed from combat.
I just had a heretical thought go through my head. You know, a little wind of chaos on the brain. I was like, oh man, maybe they should buff zone throw HP. And I immediately realized, no, they probably shouldn't do that.
Engaging search. Objective
My heavy
requires
plasma does a lot of damage.
security access. Checking remains.
I have to check every single fucking body. You shitting me?
Biometric security codes recovered.
Right, finally. You should seek the chaplain immediately. Yeah, I know. Heretical thought, heretical thought.
Xenos countermeasures successful. Ammunition restocked.
Ocular biometrics confirmed. Maintenance grade Delta Mu 2839. Access granted.
Iron Halo online.
What are we waiting for?
Specialized bioform needed. Engaging elite countermeasures. Kill confirmed. Major Tyranid threat. Contaminant causing bodily distress. keen on
That was quite the hallway.
Tyranid invasion.
That was certainly a hallway.
Iron Halo ready.
That's why I like this map though, because like all your AoE stuff just goes way up. Pyre Cannon is super fun on this one too.
Primary objective ahead. New path ahead.
That reactor must be destroyed. Honor our brothers. Honor our chapter.
Reloading. Arms tactic ready. Iron Halo protocol in progress. Utilizing shock optics. This is diving! It is attacking! Reloading ammunition.
Yeah, she gets staggered by everyone.
Obtaining armaments. Enhanced tactics ready. Watch for its pincers! It is preparing an attack from above! Reloading ammunition. Try it! Lying down, but its sibling is renewing its frenzy.
I should have known that was coming. I still shot him.
Refilling magazines. Iron Halo ready. Conversion arm operational. Nothing but a swift death for these beasts.
That was really neat. Look at that. Hold on. The end of this map looks pretty fucking cool. I think it's pretty.
Now, engage the console to cripple the reactor.
I'd be dead a long time ago.
When those magnetic stabilizers
I wouldn't say that.
Prepare for rapid egress.
You never know, dude.
Be advised.
Ridley from Metroid. Yeah, you guys looking forward to Metroid Prime 3? 4? Not 3, 4. With the fucking Hunter from Metroid Prime Hunters. I actually had that game on DS. That was a good one.
Reactor critical to Lhasa. Disengage.
Pretty excessive to have all that inside a spaceship. Well, the Imperium is nothing but excessive.
Core detonation is now a mathematical certainty.
Extraction point ahead.
Hurry. The cruiser has begun breaking apart. We will wait as long as we can. Reactor meltdown imminent.
Get us out of here.
Race for turbulence. If not for your valor, Talassa.
That was cool. Reclamation, I feel we round out the missions in this game. Really rounded them out. Hoping the next new one on Avarax is good too. I assume it will be. I'm going to get both Chaos and Tyranids in that one. That's pretty cool. $58,000 range damage. Well, that's a plasma for you.